Hi. So today we're going to be doing Taurus. This series continues, which is archetypical energy of each sign. If you are new to this series, I just wanted to repeat that for this series, I am starting the zodiac wheel with Pisces, not Aries, and it kind of going like first is like starting with Pisces and kind of wrapping it up with Aries. Uh, so the energy flows from Pisces to Aries, opposite of what we predominantly know how zodiac wheel flows, the energy flows. Okay, so today we are at Taurus, the third sign of earth element. Taurus is the third earth sign after the first is Capricorn, then Virgo, and then Taurus. It's gonna be very. I was like very excited to do this because I learned so much. I really learned so much. It's like almost like eye-opening kind of knowledge. And when I started looking at astrology in this way, like energy circulating from Pisces to Aries, and the moment it came to Taurus, like it just the way I understood the material of Taurus in um, that placement, it was like so. I feel like yeah, now it makes sense. Now everything kind of fall in place. The actual Taurian energy. Like now, I feel like I really truly understand like feeling wise, I feel that I understand those energy like in my senses, in my feelings, not just cerebrally. I'm learning about, I know about all these signs, but really almost like I'm creating a cellular memory of all this energy. And when I was going through this Taurus archetype, I'm like, wow, now it really makes sense. Anyway, so um, So Taurus comes under Gemini. Last I did Gemini. So in Gemini, I'm just gonna touch upon a little bit on Gemini just so that we can flow seamlessly from Gemini to Taurus. So in Gemini, the main concept in Gemini was transcendent duality and getting into this unity of soul, the energy of unity by through soul, by connecting with soul, by manifesting soul. So that was Gemini, which was like the, you know also if you already following this series, you already know that as per this series, I understood and I believe that there is like two group. Okay, so first group until Scorpio, it's like almost like basic instinct group driven by primal instincts, primal energy that is very easily and very viscerally available to us. And then we get from Libra to Taurus, I would say, because Aries is a whole new ballgame because it's a beginning of new cycle. It's a beginning of new cycle. That's and because it's a beginning of new cycle, that's why it's the end of a cycle. It's like a death and birth happening at the same time. Pisces and Aries are very, it's like a doorstep. They are not really, they don't hold a singular space. They are like dual in the both realm of beginning and ending. So I would say that from Libra to Taurus is like a more of a consciously manifested energy, where the energy is not moving through primal instinct, but moving through combination of mind, body, soul. It's a more of a evolved, more of a it takes effort to really channel this energy. It doesn't come very easy, let's say in this way. So the Taurus, the journey of transcendent duality into unity through the search of soul begins with Gemini, and it gets its fullness in Taurus, because Taurus is the epitome of manifestation of life force. So what does that mean? So Taurus, they also say, like it also says that Taurus gets, like in the Capricorn, what happened? Um, we tried to block nature in order to create, um, in order to create control over nature. We block nature, and that came from the sense of safety, because it's a primal driven driven by primal energy, and the primal energy in Capricorn is fear and control. So through that energy, it created a world where it tried to block nature in every single way, to control nature. In Virgo, we see the understanding of nature really take place, the understanding of earth, understanding of life and death, understanding of, um, like how to really sync with nature in order to gain the full consciousness of life force, full consciousness of being a living being, being like to really channel the all the living potential that we carry within. So that starts, that intention was bought in Virgo, and it gets its fulfillment in Taurus. So Taurus is like really, like it's really, um really ultimate syncing with self, ultimate syncing with ultimate syncing with nature, ultimate syncing with the essence of cosmos. Because Taurus understand the essence of human being is the essence of cosmos, and that that reminds me, during lot of during civil rights movement in United States, and followed by many other countries across the globe, like many movement took place, like movement of joy, awakening. uh, all of them are driven by you know black activism, activist and revolutionary groups. And they're really talking about, all those movements are really focusing on that, in order to really be your finest self, in order to really establish true human rights, true care of other human fellow, we need to take care of ourselves. And that really reminds me of this Taurian energy. This, and when we say ourself, it's not like egocentric and reductive sense of self care. Oh, I am taking care of myself, so I don't care what you do. That's not really, when you truly take care of what their consciousness coming from, which is also a very essence of Taurian consciousness, which is like, if I truly care for me, if I truly care for this body, this soul, this mind, because Taurus understand nothing is separate, because that has been established in Gemini. There is no duality, there is no separation. Mind, body, spirit, self, other, everything coming from this is like coming from this essence of Vishnu. In Vedic, Vishnu is the essence of sustaining the creation. and how we, like, Brahma creates, Vishnu sustain, and Shiva destroy. So this is the three main factors of life force cycle. Creation, sustaining the creation, and destroy the creation in order to create again. So in Vishnu, the main the way Vishnu energy sustain the creativity is the Taurian energy. Is the understanding that everything is one, which is like Gemini already established that there is no separation. There is no separation. We create so much of so much of turmoil and so much of chaos and drama and violence and this and that, because we constantly living in that reality of duality. But when the duality, when we transcend the duality and get into the reality of unity, then there is, everything is sustaining, because nothing is trying to um, outcast anything. Nothing is trying to overshadow anything, because everything is working towards this unity. So everything is vibing with each other. So that's why you would see that. Anyway, so what I was saying, the going back to this, how self care is connected with nature and its ultimate revolution, is that, when you truly care for ourselves, when we, think about, when you come from that vantage point of everything is one, it is the Vishnu essence, the sustaining of creativity. Then you truly care for yourself. And like, when you truly care for yourself, you're not only thinking about having a quality water in your room. If you truly care for yourself, you will be thinking about having a clean drinking water, period, not just in your room with some, filtering machine. If you truly care for your body, you would be not just, you cannot be satisfied just having a filtering machine in your room, and have that just, just which is filtering this water, and you're like, okay, I'm fine. No, if you truly care for yourself, you know that if there is pollution in water, and maybe you have filtering machine in your house, but that water is running through the soil, that water is drenching the soil, the plants are soaking those nutrients, not nutrients, those toxic elements, and those things are ultimately yielding the produce, so we are eating that produce. So, true care is actually, is really really focusing on the detail of your existence, really syncing with nature, not just isolating. Okay, if this part is good, if my plot is good, then I'm good. That's not true care of nature or self, because then we are not understanding that we are not just limited within our home um, parameter. We are everywhere. Everything is emitting energy, everything is, we are interacting with the world around us, and it's just not restricted within our home, within our, fenced home plot. So if we just protect our house, and not thinking about, not protecting, not taking care of the nature beyond our house, then we are not protecting ourselves, we are not really caring for ourselves. So those are the true fundamental principle of all those revolutionary movements as well. They said that, okay, mostly that was at the time, that was directly directed to black people, because they, it's a civil rights movements. But they say that if you want to, if we want our dignity, if we want black humanity, then we need to get back into this humanity that we seek from others. We need to take care of ourselves in a way that it's like a care of joy, like true care. If we truly care about eating healthy, we won't be allowing putting chemicals in the fields and then say, oh, that's okay, I'm not buying, I'm only buying um fully organic and you know this and that, like I'm not gonna get all those elements. But that's not true. So when we truly care for ourselves, we actually care for the whole world. That is the fundamental concept of Taurus. So this is very different than in our um, regular astrology, how we look at the cycles. Because what in regular astrology talks about, regular astrology talks about that from Aries to all the Aries is just, we're just birthing into things, so we are all about our body, ourselves. And Taurus, we're just getting into our value system. And Gemini, we're just bringing up, we're just building our mind. And then a house in Cancer, and then creativity and children with Leo. And then then we are going out in the society with Libra. And in regular astrology, the more they said, they put this hierarchical oh god, pronunciation, hierarchy of sign. It's like, oh, the Aries is just the beginning, and then more you go further and further, more value they put in, like like Aquarius, like Capricorn. We are thinking about the world, we are structuring the society, so they get more values. But in this concept, in this, it makes more sense to me, so I just wanted to share this sense with you. Maybe it will make some sense to you as well. So in this idea that we're starting with Pisces, it's not, it's a no, it's like we are, first we are thinking like, because we are a social animal, so that our primal need is to be social, is to, we cannot, human beings cannot be just wandering in the forest by itself. It needs community. That's like almost like our primal need. So it starts with a primal need, which is community. Aquarius after Pisces, right? And more, and when we get into this communal sense of belonging, communal sense of existing, we gradually will realize that what kind of restriction we are facing with, in terms of natural death, natural scarcity of resources, then natural calamity, and so many other things. And then there is like a division between human minds, division between different ideology, division between this and that. So gradually we are getting into this idea that the only way we can actually coexist is by self realizing. If we really understand self, if we really take care of ourselves fully, then the community, the sense of community, the belonging in a communal presence, gonna happen automatically. Then we don't have to fight against nature, then we don't have to block nature like Capricorn did. Oh, I'm just going to build my own world without nature, because I cannot trust nature, because nature can destroy me anytime, and I don't have any control over nature, so I'm just gonna deny it. That's like, that's not, we all know that's not a smart choice. And we see the result of Capricornic way of ruling the world. And that's the way. So it's not. So it's, that's where I understand. It's like going outward is not the highest level of contribution to society. In order to really create a peaceful peaceful harmonical existence of community, we need to go inward. And through this inward journey, we will manifest the outward, we will match the outward existence as beautiful and harmonical as our inward presence is. And in order to create that inward presence, that harmonical, that's beauty, that Venusian, that's why Taurus is ruled by Venusian, the Shukracharya, the Lord of Venus, um, is like, it's like beauty, it's like youth, it's like pleasure. But what is pleasure? So because it holds the key to this epitome of life force, Taurine or energy also comes with a lot of subtle responsibility. Because that brings me to my um, second section of this whole lecture, is that whole discussion lecture, is the major themes of Taurus. What are the major themes of Taurus? Because, okay, so first is blossoming of life, souls by being present, fully present with all the senses. The What are senses? Senses are nothing but they are tools to interact with the outer world, like touching, smelling, seeing. All these senses are the tools for us to interact with the outer world. And our relationship, the essence of human being, is the essence of cosmos, right? So our relationship with our senses is the way we build this essence of our reality. So I'm going to give you a simple example what I'm trying to say. So we all know everything is subjective. Seriously, in this world, if you really think about it, everything is subjective. We create our own reality. We are our own storyteller. We are really in control of our how we are gonna build this garden of our own. Okay, so let's say if we see something, like all the senses, those are the tools, right, to interact with the outer world. And through this interaction, we create an interpretation of the outer world, and through this interpretation we create the understanding of that outer world, and through that understanding we create our reality. We create our we shape we It shapes our experience, and through that experience we create our subjective reality of that moment. So, if our relationship with our senses is not very harmonical, it's not very open and inclusive. So, let's say you are walking on the street, and every senses is you are triggered by smells, you are triggered by sound, you are triggered by everything that's happened, because you have a standard of what pleasurable sound is for you. So anything that doesn't come within that idea, it's creating a cacophony in you. So let's say, that's why Taurus like now living in nature and rural rustic areas. But that's not really necessary, because the ultimately Taurus goal is to know that those are just a senses giving you a sense of reality that that you are in. So, and if we are if nothing is, of course we will have our preferences, loud noise versus soft noise, all these things. Some people may like now loud noises. It's a personal preferences, but at the end of the day, it just uh, uh it just a senses. It's just a senses. If we create too much of your relationship to if our relationship to loud noise is so um emotionally driven, then those now loud noise will dictate our life everywhere. Anywhere we would go, if we hear that noise, it will trigger our um chaotic behavior. It will shake up the peace and contentment that we harvested within ourselves. So what I'm trying to say, that our relationship to our senses is actually creating our experience of that reality. So Taurus is given that power that it can. That brings me to the second point of Taurus major theme, which is manipulating energy to create stability and serenity. And how the it's man so how Taurus is manipulating the energy by syncing with the senses. So Taurus have the ability to manipulate the energy. Taurian energy has the ability. So like it's raining. It's raining. So raining is nothing but senses, right? We are seeing the raindrops. We are smelling the this amazing. I love the smell when the rain touches the soil. I don't know what smell that would be, but that smell. So you see, everything is nothing but senses if you really think about it. Rain is not object, it's a combination of senses that comes to us, and based on our relationship with those senses we create a experience with that moment. So raining for me, I'm just giving an example, it's a very very creative, very pleasurable, very earthy, very cozy experience for me. Because my sensation when I see the visual sensation of rain, when I smell that earthy smell, when I hear the raindrops, and when I feel the water on my skin, I have a very positive relationship to those senses. Therefore the experience of rain is bringing me this positive sense. Same ways, if I don't have positive relationship with those senses, um and everybody, we all have positive negative relationship with all these things. I know that's why we say I like this, I don't like that, I prefer this, I don't. So we, that is what manipulating senses. That was why saying that Taurus has the ultimate power to manipulate energy, because it is the god of senses, and senses are the tools through which we connect with the outer world outside of our body. So it's all in our relationship with those senses. You know, mm, like, do I like to be in the busy street and cars are honking left and right, and there is like a huge traffic jam, stuck in a huge traffic jam? Do I like that? Is it a good senses? Maybe not, but do I have the ability to manipulate it, right? If you are getting to Taurian energy. So let's say I'm stuck in a traffic jam, and all I'm hearing is just, oh god, full volume honking. So that's my sound sensory giving me loud impulses, loud pulses which hitting in my um nerve in my head, and I'm having headache. So that's the one sensory, my sound. What I'm seeing just by cars after cars and bikes, everything is so congested. Is it a good visual for me? No. You can see my relationship with those senses is already becoming negative compared to my relationship with my rain senses. So because I'm constantly creating this negative relationship with those senses, so at the end of the, when I culminating all these senses, and my experience being stuck in a traffic jam is actually becoming a nightmare. But I have the ability to change it. If I, then okay, I'm hearing this sound of car honking. That's why Taurus is very creative sign. That's why it's Venusian. It has the potential to be very, very creative. Okay, many musicians are Taurus. Why? You know what they do? I seriously, I know many friends of mine are musician. It's very interesting, and majority of them have heavy Taurus placement. and they tells me many times that no sounds bother them. I mean, they have the preference, but no sounds bother them. I say, how come? Because I'm very sensitive to loud noises. But I'm saying that, oh, I'm very sensitive. As if like it's a physical thing. Of course, it's a physical because my relationship to those senses are negative. So I'm trying to change it. So I was talking to one of my friend who is musician. I say he was saying that, oh, I'm not bothered by any noises, any sounds. Every sound has the potential to be music, to be, is like the way I'm listening to it. If I'm listening to is a loud noise and constant, then it is just giving me thud, doom 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 doom. But if, and then within that, you see, we are creating rhythm. So it's all about your relationship to the senses, I think. I think I made it clear. Sometimes I just keep on going on explaining. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so that was the second theme of Taurus, and the third is elimination of duality helps Taurus to accept the reality of what it is. That's a big thing of Taurus. Taurus is like, everybody knows that Taurus is epitome of simplicity. Okay, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Don't have to make drama, this and that. Don't have to complicate what it is. So Taurus, is elimination of duality. Elimination of duality help Taurus to accept the reality for what it is, and what is based on what Taurus can create with moments by using senses and sensual earthy beauty of the nature. So what it is based on Taurus, like what, like like what is it, what it is. It's like it is what we can make of it, because ultimately it's all about our relationship to senses, and that senses creating experience, and that experience giving us a picture of reality of this object to me, right? So what it is, if I like the touch, if I like this, it can be a source of inspiration for a poetry. It can be source for so many things, and it can be something that can, we can be annoyed by. I can be annoyed, oh, I don't like this color, oh, this color makes me think about this, this and that. So Taurus is like, there is no, oh, good bad, this is bad, this is good. This is what it is, and what it is very subjective, person to person, because our relationship to senses is changes from person to person, and as the relationship changes, the reality of this object is changes, because our experience with that object or subject and person idea is changing. So you see, it's a very fluid, actually Taurus is very fluid sign, very fluid energy. Yes. Okay, actually that brings me, I mean, oh god, I just realized I'm using too many times actually. Anyway, so that brings me to my next pointer of this discussion is like, why moon is exalted in Taurus. Why? I thought about it many times, and this is why, I think, and it makes damn sense to me. So, like I was saying, the Taurus is very fluid sign. We Taurus get bad rap. Taurian energy gets a bad rap of being stubborn, being stuck in their way, and this and that, not flexible at all. Uh, Not really true. What Taurus is flex. Taurus goes with the natural cycle. Taurus goes with the natural cycle, meaning Taurian energy does not want to create a reality based on pure man, like so-called man's will power. Does that mean that Taurian energy does not have willpower? No. Taurian energy enforces their willpower to follow natural cycles. Taurian energy loves to witness things revealing in their organic timeline. That's why Taurus has a lot of patience, because Taurus understand, Taurian energy understand that in order to make something stable, in order to make something truly secure, the best way to do that is not to interfere. Let that let the nature takes its course, and when the nature takes its course, it is so thorough, nature is so thorough that it will take care of all the things that we would definitely will miss if we try to force our willpower onto it and do it fast and do it this way or that way. And ultimately it will be fragile and it will be perish before time. That's why taurus is taurus is so flexible that it come across very, it come across to people who are, who doesn't know how to, who doesn't really, not really sync up with the natural law. For them, to them, taurian energy can come across very stubborn and bullhead and very like rigid. But it's actually opposite. Taurian energy is very flexible. So because it follows the natural law. So what is moon? I talked very deep about what is moon in Cancer, but I'm just going to touch upon a little bit. If moon is anything, moon is about change. Moon is the only planet that is visibly, we can see the change in the sky every single day. No single day moon is the same. No single moment moon is the same. Moon is constantly changing its shapes, changing its energy, changing its image to us every single moment. And that kind of changeability is exalted in Taurus. That means what? That moon, because Taurus follows the natural law, moon feels very home in Taurus, because moon is not, moon feels like nobody gonna try to manipulate. Oh, you need to go faster, you need to go slower, you need to do this way, you need to go that way, you cannot be in the full moon today. Oh no, no, I need full moon for 30 days, how come I only 2 days? No, moon feel like Taurus, because Taurus is like, Taurus knows, because it's the epitome of life force. Like, what is life force? I told you already, life force is really syncing with the nature, because nature essence is the human essence. So when we really sync with this nature essence, we are actually syncing with our own essence. Our own essence, when you are syncing with our own essence, we are really gearing towards taking care of ourselves truly, and that really being our empowering our life force, which ultimately create. So when, so moon feels very stable in Taurus. That's why it gives moon this security. But people feels like, okay, stability means, people think our, not people, like, like we think our, this is our, this is a it's a bad knowledge. Seriously, it's a bad knowledge that we associate stability with rigidity. That's absolutely BS. Stability, the moon is feels ultimately stable. Moon feels so stable, being the most changeable element in the whole cosmos, feels more stable with change, because it feels not challenged, it feels not it feels totally accepted in Taurian energy. That's why moon is exalted in Taurus. That's why moon does very well in Taurus. um so okay, so my next thing that I wanted to talk about, I kind of put a pointer like what I'm going to talk about. So I put down why Taurus slash Scorpio is the axis, Taurus axis and Scorpio, it's the opposite. Is the axis of exaltation of material satisfaction and enlightenment, which is also called, in other word, we can say, many, you know, many veteran minds to astrologer. This they say that North Node in Vedic astrology, Rahu. is exalted in Taurus. Some say in Gemini, some say in Taurus, and Ketu is exalted, KM in Scorpio. Scorpio and Ketu is South Node, is exalted in Scorpio. Why? Let's talk about that a little bit. So, because Taurus is all about material pleasure. So, how Taurus isn't material pleasure is a bad thing? Like, not so good thing. Um, no. If we understand what material pleasure is, material pleasure, as per the mature Taurus, is again the same thing. It's like truly able to take care of oneself, having the able to eat the best fit food for your body, able to feed your soul with the surroundings or with the place that we dwell, our residence or place we work at, or just our nature around. Is all about, like, material pleasure is not, I'm not saying, material pleasure is not for a mature Taurus who would really understand Taurian energy. Is not about just stacking up Gucci sunglasses. You know what I mean? That's like very, I don't know. I don't want to get into that. So it's like that. So Taurus, because Taurus understands this, that ultimate way to access soul is not to go in the mountain and just, you know we can access soul, we can access 5D in 3D, if because we are sent to a physical realm, we are sent to a material world. Of course there is a way to access to enlightenment, which is like South Node Ketu in Scorpio, right? So we can access this self-realization and enlightenment and ultimate access to soul and bliss and all that. But how we are going to do it? Because we are material, we are physical being. So in physicality itself, those doors or those gates are open to go get there. And how we get there? By getting into our senses, by syncing with our natural laws, natural cycles, and really manipulating our and building manipulating energy by establishing, re-establishing, and constantly nourishing our relationship to senses, so that we can create a experience that is fulfilling, that is good food for our soul. If we can create that experience that is good food for our soul, then we can get into this, that soul, that healthy soul gonna bring us, take us to the enlightenment, take us to actualization, take us to this heavenly bliss, 5D world. But how we are going to get there? We cannot just get there by meditation. Meditation is the way to go, but meditation is only successful when we are truly embodying our 3D world around us through these senses, and maturing our relationship with senses, so that our mind, body, spirit, everything syncing with this vibration of unity instead of duality. That's a lot of spiritual fire in Taurian energy. People in regular astrology will hardly hear all this. The Taurian is so spiritual, but Taurus spiritual is not like you know I mean, they can having an altar and this and that, they can definitely. But I mean, yes, Taurus would, but like they practice their Taurian spirituality. Practice is by living moments, by lived moments, by making every single living moments as grounded, as like true care of oneself. potent with this healthy relationship with healthy I don't know, healthy like that heightened relationship with our senses. So through that we Taurus is very very spiritual. So so that's why Taurus Rahu, which is like Rahu or North Node, which is like very very, it gets a lot of like a lot of importance in Vedic astrology. Some say that, you know, Rahu like North Node and Ketu South Node, yeah, is the um, deciding factor of our life journey. So that gets exalted in Taurus. So it's like Rahu is all about, North Node is all about, you know, like material pleasure. But when you think about material pleasure, you feel like, oh, I need 5 cars and 15 bungalows. If we Rahu in Taurus, that means we are just gonna run after material pleasure. But if we are really understanding Taurian energy, when North Node gets into Taurus, is actually, it's actually that what Taurian's energy is all about. I just talked about. So enhancing and empowering those things instead of going after all this thing, because that not true care. That not true care. You know, if we are building 5 bungalows and exploiting laborers and creating a lot of pollution around the neighborhood, and you know, exploiting uh, cheap labor in different countries, so that's not a example of true care. So when the true care is not taking place, that means it's not um, something materially pleasurable. So in as per the true Taurian energy, that's why Taurus is exalted. Rahu is exalted in Taurus, and Ketu is exalted in Scorpio, because and Taurus Scorpio are the opposite axis, right? So because Taurus, when fully mature, Taurian energy is not afraid to go delve deeper into emotional realm, delve deeper into the subject of death. You know, and when you are not, when you many Taurus, I also know Taurian energy, it takes quite a lot time for any Taurian energy, whether you have Sun or Rahu or something else. It takes quite a while to really get into the other end of the energy, which is Scorpio. Um, but that's okay. Everything comes in their own timing. But true actual maturation of Taurian energy only happens when Taurus energy comes to the other side of Scorpionic energy and really mm, like as they're honing their relationship with senses, and how those relationship with senses creating the reality and experience of the outer world in a different scenario, different circumstances, and at the same time how their emotional relationship is projected and is being nurtured and is being cultivated in those moments. um, when Taurian energy gets a full grasp of this totality of life, which is Taurian life force, and this emotional, you know, this emotional sides of destruction, which is Scorpio, when they truly get a grasp of these two sides, then Taurian energy becomes fully matured. Um, that's why, and understanding death is the only way to understanding moksha or enlightenment. Because if we don't understand death for its true essence, we will be constantly fearful of death, and that fear will keep us in the loop of this, you know, incarnation after incarnation, and don't really take us to this self-actualization and enlightenment, which is also moksha. Really understand, really getting the like experiencing life to its holistic whole, like uh, like experiencing this life on in a material body through life force and death force. When that happens, that's when mm, the everything kind of comes together. um, to conclude, I would just say that let's say I put some notes. Let me read it out. It's not really structural writing, it's just my thoughts jumbling, so don't judge my writing. Taurus, I said Taurus is an alchemical energy hub. So Taurus builds his own life purely based on his relationship with his senses and how these senses interpret the nature around. That's why Taurus is also to be considered the sign of immortality and eternal youth, ruled by Venus. Because if you are, what is aging? What is old aging? Aging is I think, oh my God, I think some author I have heard somewhere, but I'm going to paraphrase. But this is also, I believe, that aging is something when you don't see the beauty in it. And that creates monotony. And monotony is the primary reason of getting old, and ultimately death. So the core of it is like being able to see the beauty in everything. And when I say everything, I mean in death. Because without Scorpio, death, Taurus is incomplete. Taurian energy. So being able to see beauty in everything is the way to regenerating the Venusian energy of creativity. And when we are creative, and when I say creative, it doesn't mean that it has to be manifested in the form of product. Um, Creativity is the energy when our life force is constantly giving us so much of passionate power that we are never old. We are constantly youth like child, and we appreciate things no matter how old that things um, are to us. We may know that things for several years, but still not failing to see the beauty in their existence. When that happens, that creates this, this flow of eternal youth, and that creates an immortality. Um, it can do all this if only it can manipulate the energy accordingly. So the Taurian, the superpower the Taurian energy has is the manipulating energy. I don't know how many people know about this lady. Her name is Dolores Cannon. I read, I think, one or two books of her, and there is certain things that I really like about her wisdom. It's like she says the main thing that we came in this world, in the form of material being, so that we can manipulate energy, um, um, to create. And because that's the only way we can go to the other side, which is mean enlightenment. Mm, it's an acquired art of living. So Taurian energy is not just living, it's an acquired art, because since Libra, it's all manifested energy. Like I said in the beginning, it's all manifested energy. So this Taurian energy, this we have the potential to live like this Taurian energy, but it's an acquired art of living. The manifested life cycle gets its fullness and maturity peaks in Taurus. So this whole cycle that we start with Pisces, it gets its fully matured peak in Taurus. Because after that, when the Aries come, that Aries is now, because I know Taurus is feminine energy and Aries is masculine, Martian, warrior energy, and it now ready to do something new, ready to begin something new. And that's pretty much Aries energy. We're gonna be doing much more in detail next, and I will try to do it before the major solar eclipse in Aries happening on 8th, I guess. Not I guess, yes, on 8th. So I would try to do that before that. That would be nice ending for my this whole cycle also with eclipse. I really wanna. I just hope that I can make it before 8. And this is my Yeah, this is my understanding of archetypical energy of Taurus, and hope you get something out of it.